Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we are doing another Hour of Devastation Amonkhet Intermediate Swiss Draft League. Alright, open the Locust God for the first time. Definitely taking this card, it's super strong. Tons of good cards in here though. Desert's Hold is incredibly good. We've got the Open Fire, which would otherwise be the first picks, and then there's also Ronus' Stalwart. And I like the Quarry Beetle and the Jet, and the Naga and the Aben. Just a lot of good playables in here, but obviously taking the Blue-Red God. Alright. So follow-up pick. Less exciting here. You can take the Desert, the Devastator. Probably want to take something that's on color with this Locust God if possible, because this card is very strong. So I guess cycling works well with this because you draw a card, so Desert would not be a bad pick. But Devastator is pretty playable. I'm fine second picking it over the Ceradon as well. So I think we'll just take Devastator. It's not an exciting second pick, but it's a good card. So now we have Tragic Lesson, which does work well with the Locust God, but never mind, we're just taking the Struggle. Get that removal. There's also a Lethal Sting in here and a Firebrand Archer, but Struggle. Okay, so pick number 4. Options are Spellweaver Eternal, Unsummon, Kindled Fury. So Eternal is good in the blue-red deck, but so is the Unsummon. Probably just want the Unsummon. If you're going to tempo your opponents out, which I like to do, you want to get as much of that as possible. Like typically low curve decks wouldn't want to run the Locust God, but this card is so strong that I don't even think it matters. So we just take the Unsummon and never look back, I think. Basically forcing blue-red because of the Mythic. I don't honestly even think that's a bad thing. I think that's perfectly acceptable. So Riverwinder, probably just take the Desert, the Blue Desert here. Cunning Survivor is pretty mediocre, and I like the Cycle Desert more than the Blue Desert. Hollow One, make the Cycle deck someday. For now, we'll just take a Desert card. Okay, now we take the Scrapper. Good red 3-drop, taking it over Survivor and Countervailing Winds. We have another crack at Desert, but I actually think Unquenchable Thirst is a very good card, and hopefully we can pick up more Deserts to maximize its effectiveness, but I'm fine with it. It's also, I mean, it triggers Prowess. It works well with a lot of the, not only the Prowess guys, but like Firebrand Archer and other good cards for this deck. So I guess there's Traveler's Amulet to like splash, but I don't think we're going to be doing the Survive, so probably just take Kindled Fury here, which is a good card for the blue-red Timbo deck anyway. Triggers Prowess for 1 mana and other stuff. So there's Crash Through, which is playable in here. Probably just want the Strategic Planning, helps us find our Locust God. Doesn't actually work with the Locust God ability, but still a pretty good card. We'll take it over the Traveler's Amulet as well. Alright, getting the Desert here is nice. We'll take it over Proven Combatant and Hollow One. Tragic Lesson is definitely good for this deck with the Locust God and all of that other stuff. So another crack at Traveler's Amulet. I guess we'll take it in case we want to splash. It's a late Merciless Eternal and Solitary Camel. They're both good cards. Alright, we'll take the Survivor. We have a couple cycle cards. I mean, they're certainly playable. Guess it works with Tragic Lesson too. Not too bad. Imminent Doom. Yeah, probably want Blur of Blades. Pretty premium for this deck. Not much else in this pack for us anyway. I guess there's Consigned to Oblivion, which is actually pretty good. I think I'd rather have the Blur of Blades because it just possibly kills something. Usually I think it's better for this deck. I actually don't know. Not a great chance that we can even cast Oblivion. I don't know if I'd splash it off Traveler's Amulet. That doesn't seem great. But Blur of Blades is definitely good. Great for this deck for pushing damage through anyway. So another Scrapper, but probably just want the Open Fire. Taking it over the Thorn Moloch and the Spellweaver Eternal as well. Never looking back. just going to set the amulet aside unless I need to splash something. So I'd prefer to not play the Cunning Survivors either, but we may have to. Vizier, do we have... Currently do not have any Eternalize. There's another Devastator in here. It's probably early enough to speculate on Vizier and hope to find something that synergizes with it. It's good card advantage if you can make it work. Internalizer and Balm. Seems fine to me, actually. So Eternal of Heartstruce is good. There's Firebrand Archer. I like the Eternal. Getting the card advantage and the Afflict is good. Firebrand Archer is a pretty premium card for this deck, but I really like this, and it has synergy with Locust God randomly too, so I think I'm going to take Eternal. So we have Survivor's Encampment, which is another desert. Probably just want the Defiant Kenra as a cheap bear. So we can take third desert here. Cycle deserts are going to be good with the Cunning Survivors at least. And they work with the Locust God, as I said. So, seems fine. Aerial Guide is usually pretty good, but I think we're actually going to take the Proven Combatant for Vizier synergy. I like it. I like Aerial Guide a lot, but I just want to make sure we have something that works with Vizier. So, another Kindled Fury. There's Lethal Sting on the splash, which technically I'm not opposed to with the Traveler's Amulet, I guess. Countervailing Winds is fine. Probably just take the Lethal Sting. I don't think I mean, this is fine for tempo and stuff, but I'm just going to take Lethal Sting. It could possibly be Splash 4. I haven't decided yet. So, another Traveler's Amulet. Can I play like 15 lands, 2 Traveler's Amulet? I probably can. Otherwise, I'm taking Ipnu Rivulet, another desert, which isn't bad. But I think we'll take the second amulet. You can probably get away with 15 lands double amulet. I don't actually know if that's true or not, but it seems like you could. Thorn Moloch. Perfectly fine. None of these cards matter so much. Guess we'll take a Manalith. Probably not play it. Take the Kenra. I think we're just going to let those get past. Take the blue card. So we're close to a deck already, which is nice. And we have a whole pack to get through, so... likely not doing the Lethal Sting Splash. Well, Vizier of Many Faces is awesome. Otherwise, there's Magma Spray. Yeah, I think we just take the Vizier. That was a strong effect. Embalm too. So we can even find it on Vizier. Wow, yeah, that's insane. We're doing that. Crasher's excellent card. Very strong. Gonna take it over Scattered Groves, which we don't even have one of the colors anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright. I'm done with the splash. I'm over it. I think our removal does kind of suck though, right? I guess Unsummoned Kindled Fury, Open Fire, Blur of Blades. That could be worse. So there's Cartouche of Zeal, but I think we're just going to take the Thresher Lizard, which is usually a pretty excellent 3-mana 4/4. At least in low curve decks like we've got now. Blazing Volley is an excellent sideboard card, but I actually like Naga Oracle. I think it would make this deck. I prefer to not play the Cunning Survivors if possible either. Although we may have to, I don't know yet. I noticed I didn't count some of my removal too. Unquenchable Thirst, Struggle. So we do have more than... we have a good amount of removal. So I'll probably just take the Lizard here again. Be happy enough with that. Probably start cutting the Survivors, which are fairly mediocre in general. But I kind of want to be 16 lands, so I guess we're okay for now. Turn target spell to its owner's hand. Otherwise we can take the Cartouche, which lets us fly over top and draw a card. It's pretty good. I don't know how I feel about failure. It's okay. Probably take this. I guess that has synergy with Locust God. Scribe's not bad either. Whatever, we'll take the Cartouche. Another Naga Oracle? I mean, I'm kind of down. We could take another Lizard, too. I really like Oracle a lot. I'm actually much more comfortable playing a 17 land deck if we have double Oracle and 3 cycle lands. It's pretty good. I think we'll do that. So probably can cut the Survivors because they're fairly mediocre anyway. Illumination's good. Alright. Kind of want to play 17 lands. Could ditch the Survivors. I feel like they're worse than Kenra's, but we have 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to think of all the things that synergize with it. We don't have a ton that synergize with it. But I'm debating whether I want to run 17 lands just because I have double Naga Oracle, Hieroglyphic Illumination, and 3 Cycle Deserts. Like, that's a good reason to run 17. Like, we also have Strategic Planning and Tragic Lesson. We have a lot of ways to draw cards, which would mitigate Flood pretty effectively. Alright, we can take the Wrappings and then get yet another removal. Seeker's actually very good. That would make the deck. I guess I'll hate a Servant. Actually, Initiate seems more likely to be in a deck. Same with like Duelist here. That's the latest Top Crop Elite I think I've ever seen. So we have a lot of removal. We have the Locust God. We have some pretty good tempo. We can cut some of our early game things that aren't that big of threats anyway. I need to make 5 cuts if I want to run 16, but I think I'm still on board with 17 lands if I keep all my card draw. So if we do something like ditching the Survivors, maybe I don't need the Cartouche, although it is kind of cool with the Lizards. I kind of want to have 2 targets for Vizier of the Anointed, which is why I want to keep the Proven Combatant. I can probably cut a Kindled Fury. It's replaceable. And then maybe I cut one of the Defiant Kenras. Because we're not playing like the traditional, like we're not doing the Firebrand Archer version of this deck. We're doing much more of the, I don't know, removal them out version, I guess, with card advantage and card draw effects and Locust God synergies. Like with double Naga, look at all the card draw we have. We have Seeker, Eternal. Oh yeah, Seeker with Locust God is insane too. I didn't even notice that. That is crazy. So Seeker, Eternal, Tragic Lesson, Strategic Planning, Illumination, double Naga Oracle. We have a lot of ways to draw cards, which, and the 3 cycle lands, which just makes me much more comfortable playing 17 lands. Because you can just, it really just helps with the flood problem a lot. Probably ditch the Cartouche of Knowledge, I guess. Not that I think it's bad, I think it's good, but I probably can cut one more creature. Maybe I do just cut the Kenra. I could cut the Thorn Moloch since we're not beating down as hard. Usually this is a premium card in this deck, but I'm not a huge fan of having so few 2-drops. I might just have to be okay with it though. Defiant Kenra is pretty replaceable. So if we do this, our curve doesn't look fantastic, does it? But all of our 2-drops are so mediocre that I'm not thrilled about playing them. So I think I am going to do this. I could cut the Thorn Moloch for a Defiant Kenra. It's definitely worse. I think I'll just run it like this, though. So we're not your traditional, we're not the blue-red tempo. We're just more of like a blue-red card advantage style of deck, which seems fine to me. So more blue than red. No green necessary, so this would be 9 blue, 8 red. That seems fine. And yeah, looks good to me. Curve's not the best, but it still looks like a good deck, so we'll run it like this. We'll see you around one.